All right. Woohoo! All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How awesome is it to be here tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is great to see you here tonight for the Claims of Truth Healing Circle. I'm very excited about this. Let's get it going. Yeah. Woohoo! Welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone to the Claims of Truth Healing Circle. I'm very excited to have all of you here tonight. I'm just doing another round of making sure everybody has access to everything. Make sure you all have the chats up, and you can, on the chat here on Zoom, you can message just me if you only want me to see it, but you can also message everyone that is available, and you all can just check to make sure that you have that set up, that you have access to that. It is great to see each of you here, and I'm once again thrilled to be doing this healing circle, an opportunity for us to use the claims of truth. Hey, Christina, it's great to see you. Welcome back. It is so much fun. I really have a lot of joy that comes out of doing these healing circles, and I truly love reading the books. Haven't always loved reading the books, but I do now. I read them in pieces, and the claim of truth that we are working on tonight is coming from the Book of Truth. I know it probably shows up as backwards, but this is where the claim of truth is coming from tonight. Christina, you are definitely getting lots of healings, family getting lots of healings. Huge love and blessings to you. I have experienced that, the passing of my dad, and I truly understand the numbness. That is a great word for it, and I am happy to put my team on it for you. It is always a healing opportunity. Gifts, gifts, gifts. So our claim is coming from the Book of Truth. The claim is: the small self thinks, the divine self knows. And I have to tell you right off the bat that this was another round of the claim of truth coming in, and me going like, what am I going to do with that? What is that? And how is that going to show up? And, why would you give me that claim of truth? And I actually got this claim of truth the next day after the healing circle ended. And so that is a new record for me to get a claim of truth so quickly. But I took on the challenge of seeing how this claim of truth was going to show up for me and how I was going to use it. Like, all right, great, we got this claim of truth, but what do we do with it? How do we work with it? It's not the same kind of claim of truth as, I am in my knowing. For those of you who were here when we did that claim of truth, I am in my knowing, that one was a little easier for me to work with. So, casting a circle of light, specifying that only Source, Creator, God, my healing team, and the healing teams of Melchizedek as required, be present for tonight's Claims of Truth Healing Circle, where we are working with the claim of truth. The small self thinks, the divine self knows, where we are going to work on the places in ourselves where we just, for whatever reason, history, habit, going unconscious, atheist energy, continue to go into that thinking space as opposed to being in the space of knowingness. And we are going to do healings on ourselves, healings on others, and of course, as we heal ourselves and we heal others, we are also healing the field. So may it be with the blessing of Source that we trust more, love more, love more. Trust more and love more as we continue to take our bodies, our minds, our higher selves up in frequency along with everyone else. With that, we say amen and aho. So, for those of you who may have played with the claims of truth over the last couple weeks, feel free to pop in your experiences at any time. For those of you who may have questions about healing or energy or alchemy, please feel free to put your questions in the chat. You know, this is an opportunity for you to get some healing. Isn't that an awesome thing? But it's also an opportunity for us to be in community, for us to spend an hour, working on ourselves, asking some questions, and working on others and trusting how it all unfolds. So please feel comfortable. I often get texts from people who say, can I come late? Can I leave early? Can I ask questions? And the answer to all of those is absolutely. Come when you can, leave when you need to, bring your questions, share this with others. All of that is totally awesome. I am happy to help as I can. And of course, even after the circle is done, you can, text me, contact me through social media, whatever it is, and ask for help, because that's part of what I am here to do. I love getting texts. I love helping people, and it's an opportunity for me to get a healing as well. If you weren't aware of that awesome fact, as you heal others, you are getting a healing as well. So it is never a burden or an interruption or a problem for you to ask for a healing. It's an opportunity for me to get a healing as well. And I certainly love that. So, small self thinks. Anybody want to admit to thinking once or twice today? I know, I did. I spent several hours probably in my day. Think. Kathy, yeah, overthinking. Oh, that's a good one. Not just thinking, but overthinking. Like, Oh my gosh, will somebody please make that stop? Yes. I actually had about 4:30 today. I started taking a look at the container again and starting to make sure that everything was done on social media. And I had another round of, oh my God, what am I doing? Who do I think I am? Why am I doing this? Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe I'm not doing it on the right day. Okay, so it is absolutely normal. We are trained to think, right? From the time we are small, us in the educational system, we are trained to think. So, a reminder for all of us that thinking is not a bad thing. It's just a thing we do. And the more we heal the places where we go into thinking, the faster we go up in frequency. In truth, we really want to know. We want to just be in that space where information comes down and it's like, oh, I know what I'm doing next. Oh, I know the answer to that. And there may be times when you know and you're like, how did I know that? How did that happen? How could I make that happen? And we might think about knowing, but it is really a process, right? We went through the process of learning how to think. Remember in school, that's what we were taught, right? Think, 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 think. So now it's going to be a process of learning how to know and to be kind to ourselves, to be, gentle with ourselves and not beat ourselves up because the knowing hasn't come in or we think we made a mistake, right? First things first. So when we cease to think, when we stop thinking and we go into knowing, we are actually being. We're actually just being. And knowing gets to be a place where it's just like, oh, this is what I'm doing next. There's no more questions. That's what the guides tell us is when you're in your knowing, there are no additional questions. It's not like, how am I going to get there? What time am I going to leave? How is it all going to unfold? It's just a place of, oh, I just know when I'm leaving. I know where I'm going. I know how it's going to unfold. Wow, I have a whole fun, entertaining thing going on over here with my chat. I am in my knowing that my chat is doing a whole nother crazy thing here. Okay. The small self. Lane, I love that you bring that up. She says, I've noticed lately that for me, I use thinking and trying to figure it out as a way to feel safe and secure. 100%. That's how we use thinking. Thinking is part of us, our personality wanting to be safe, wanting to be comfortable. That is absolutely, and I'm so glad you brought that up because that's literally what I was just going to talk about. Some of the small self things we do is we want to be safe. So we have gotten in the habit if we think about it, oh, we'll know the answer. It'll all be good. I've worked the problem all the way through. I've done the pie chart. I've done the list. I've worked it all the way through. But yeah, at the end of the day, you can be waiting for the information to drop in. And fear is the biggest reason why we think. Thinking creates more fear. That's what happens. As we think, because it's our brains, we think with our brains, and we think, and then it's easy to jump on that train of fear. Oh, but is that the right answer? Am I doing it right? What if I do it this way? If I, choose this thing and I get it wrong? That all creates fear. Thinking creates fear. When we are in our knowing, when we are connecting to who we are as a higher self, we allow the information to come in. It can be a really difficult place. We allow the information to drop in, and when it drops in, it's solid, it's clear. There's no doubt, there's no additional questions. When I was first in the mastery class, which is the class that I now teach with Kat Gibson, I hated when Care would ask us a question and I had to wait for my knowing to come in, because I spent so much time being in the thinking. So there's one exercise she gave us was we all had to pull a tarot card. And we had to say what the tarot card meant for us. Now that's really kind of funny when you think about it, when you consider it. She literally said what it means to us. But I spent the entire time as she went around the room going, what does it mean to me? Oh my gosh. Well, I see a 3 and maybe 3s are this and I don't know and blah, 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 right? Just nonstop. I do not remember what anybody else in the class said. I was so worked up and concerned about what my card meant to me. That's thinking. Just recently, because that was 6 years ago, just recently we did something like that at a gratitude ceremony, and the information dropped in for me, and it was a place where I was just, oh, I know what it means to me. And it doesn't matter what anyone else says or, any other perspective about the card I'm holding in my hand. I know what I know. And when we can get into that place of, I know that I know, we are coming from a place of neutrality. We are coming from a place of love. We are coming from a place that is our higher self speaking with us. And it's possible for everybody. It is something that has happened to you more times than you actually remember, that you've actually given yourself credit for. And that is something that's extra cool. If I asked you to give me a list of 3 times that you were in your knowing, when you knew that you knew that you knew, you'd be able to do it like that. There are things like when you moved somewhere, or when you went to school, or a relationship that you went in. All of those things are times when you just knew that you knew that you knew. Now, sometimes we look back on them and we're like, oh, I should have known better. I should have realized that that was a mistake. It wasn't. It happened exactly as it was meant to. So that's a really cool thing to heal. If you would like, ask yourself, ask your higher self, where is the place that you are holding some ideas that you can't possibly know, that you can't possibly be someone who could be in their knowing? Mine is right here in my third eye. Apparently a third eye is real. Not apparently, it is. Third eye's absolutely part of spiritual anatomy. It's part of how you see yourself. And mine is right there in my third eye. So whether you know where yours is, or whether you're guessing where yours is, or thinking where your place is, we're going to give it a healing. Third eye, sacrum, absolutely great spots. I see some of you have throat. I see a lot of sternums. And you might be saying, well, how do I know? Ask. And let your hands move. Sometimes I have to just go, I have no idea where it is, but I'm gonna trust where my hands go. Right? Bobby throat, yep. Christina, I see yours in your sternum here. I don't have the term pyramid of light, but I see your sternum is lighting up for me. It can also be that. Awesome healing. Nice. And many of you have, you're showing me pictures of past life pictures. You're showing me all these frames and pictures. You're like, yeah, what about this? How about this? Can I get rid of this? Absolutely. Happy to give you all a healing on all of that shows up. Some of you are bringing some religious pictures to me. Happy to move those as well. That's what's really cool about a healing circle. Oh, that's funny. So as I start to sing, I'm like seeing E.T. with his heart light. For those of you who don't know, for a really, really long time, I got lots of references to Disney references. And so I laugh every time I get a reference like that. It is not that anyone here is an extraterrestrial. It is just the way that my higher self gives me information. And that is a great example of part of what we're doing with this claim of truth is clearing the way, paving the path for you to have more access to your divine self, to your higher self. And as you develop that relationship, you start to understand, oh, when I see this, I know what it means. Some of you may see signs, like literal signs. You may have an awareness of a sign. You may have an awareness of a sign like a hand that goes up. You may have a reference, like I did for a very long time, Disney references. So even when I was looking at something that was scary, the scariest thing that I would see were the eels, Flotsam and Jetsam, from The Little Mermaid. That's how my higher self showed me that. And it's perfect exactly as it shows up. So we're working on that relationship. Let's strengthen the braid between you and your higher self. Let's just keep wrapping those braids with more union, more reclamation frequency. more freedom frequency. Freedom, the freedom frequency is ruby red. Oh, Kathy, I love that. What the world and you need now is love, sweet love. Kathy, when I look at that, that's your higher self singing a love song to you. It's exactly what you are getting. Here's some more love, love, love. Often the things that pop into our heads, right? We say that it just popped into my head. Our messages from our higher self. If you start singing a song, sometimes I actually have to sing the song for a little bit before I catch it. And then I go and listen to the song and I realize that there is a message in there. I was singing a song earlier today, a Pink song. It's called Just Say I'm Sorry. And it says, I love you in the song. And I was like, yes, all is forgiven and I love you. Okay. So sometimes our personality, our small self, wants to dictate how things should be. Does that happen to anybody? Is that just me? Like, my personality is like, this isn't supposed to be happening. That's not how it's supposed to go. Why are you talking about that? That's not how it's supposed to happen. Is that just me? That place where our small self is busy thinking that this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it should be. Why are they doing that? What is going on there? Oh my goodness, they're doing it wrong. Yeah, ego, personality, small self, there are lots and lots of names for that. And absolutely, because we were taught to think, and part of thinking is going back to the past, pulling that information forward and saying, this is how it's supposed to be done. Zoya, happy to give you a healing on all of that. Listen, my kids are now adults. They're 31 and 28. But when they were kids, when they were in elementary school, they went to a private school that is the private school, or one of the private schools, down here in South Florida. And I can remember sitting on a committee and asking, why are we doing it that way? And the answer was, almost to every time I asked the question, that's the way we've always done it. That's the way we've always done it. Huh. Okay, but just because we've always done it that way, do we have to continue doing it that way, or can we entertain another idea? Hmm. Now we're talking about like 20 years ago, and I had no idea that that was thinking, but it is. It's an example. We go back and we pull the suitcases with us right up to present day. And we open the suitcases, and there's not always a lot of love and joy and inspiration and transformation that is in those suitcases. It's usually a lot of pain and fear and anger and unworthiness that is there. So we've gone back and pulled that forward to where we sit now, and we wonder why it's not working. Yes. You know what's extra cool? Healing is always available. A healing is always available. And each and every one of you that are on this Zoom today, who watch it in the future, a healing is always available. You have a really smart higher self, really, really smart. Your divine self knows where to go to get the healing. You don't even have to have known that it was happening. Your higher self is on that. Your higher self is like, yes, there's that thing. Let's move that. I know who to go get. But since we're here tonight and we're working on connecting with our higher self, just for the fun of it, just because you can, ask, where are you holding the most low frequencies on how things should be? Where are you holding the most low frequencies on how things should be? We have downloads coming in. For those of you who may not know, a download is an energetic information that comes in to bring more light into our bodies. These downloads come all the time. They come when you're at work. They come when you are shopping. They come when you are sleeping. You may or may not notice them, but I'm just here in the present paying attention to them. And so I can tell you that these downloads are coming in. It's downloads of stars. Yes. Elaine, in your teeth. Yes. That's an awesome place. I've been moving a lot of stuff out of this side of my teeth. So yeah, if you're a little surprised, yay. Move more of that, how things should be. Kathy, is it in your feet? Yep, it is particularly in like the arches of your feet, Kathy. Not that it isn't everywhere, but in particular, you actually have two big balls there that we're going to move. Yes. Nice. Nice artifacts. You don't need those. Bobby, between your shoulder blades. Yep. It's like a big block there. Yep, Jill, sternum. Jill, I keep seeing a balloon. I'm just asking what that balloon is. Oh, okay. I move the valence, and that balloon is it's like a I see it as a boulder. We'll just call it a boulder, Jill. Jackie. Frontal lobe, yep. And you can have a place anywhere, right? Just like Kathy had in her foot, It could be in a pinky. You could find it behind your eyes. Yep. You're welcome. There is somebody who has it behind their eyes, their physical eyes. We're going to go ahead and move that. And we're moving valences for everybody. Valences are like curtains. Yeah, that's a good word, curtains. And we all have valences. We have valences of unconsciousness. So we just go unconscious to the fact that we are thinking. We have valences that are atheist energy, which makes us doubt our information. Valences that are created with fear. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Do, 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 do. There we go. Awesome. Keep moving those things out. And of course, if you are listening to this later, because you can certainly do that, you can actually ask the questions. Where is it that I have an idea about how things should be, and know that you're getting a healing on that? Always getting a healing. Higher self does that. All right. You ready? Here's I think this is kind of interesting. We're going to go to the others portion of the healing circle. I want you to consider, no, I want you to think. Who is the most abhorrent person you can think of? I think it's funny that I got that word, abhorrent. Abhorrent person you can think of. Think. Yep, Kathy, I'm on it. I actually had that happen to me about an hour and a half ago. It was very interesting because I was like, wow, that hasn't happened in a long time. So we're on it. So the most abhorrent person you can think of. Doesn't matter who it is. Think. Right? You may find yourself that you're just thinking a list. Right? It's thinking. Whoever it is. And you certainly do not have to put it in the chat. And it might be somebody, you might be like, on a global scale, you already got somebody, or you might be like, oh, somebody who is next door to you or down the street from you or somebody you work with, and that is perfect too. Do not adjust your screen. I just was told to move that out a little. So you come up with thinking of somebody who is abhorrent. Now, that person, whoever shows up, ask your higher self to show you that person. You can ask to see it as far as a frequency. You can ask to see it in any way that you might get the answer. And if you find yourself being in a place where you're like, no, they're not nice, or wow, I'm seeing them like their parent is seeing them. When I did this earlier, I saw somebody who I was just like, oh, I'm really struggling with this particular person, seeing this particular person as anything but abhorrent. And then I asked my higher self to show me. And I got to see where she is doing the best that she can. And I got to see the fear, SEA, that she's floating in. And then my higher self showed me this image of her, like she's drowning. And there's a life preserver, and the life preserver has the word love on it. It was an awesome opportunity to go, wow, I spend a lot of time about her. Now, I don't think that I know that I'm not the one creating that sea, that fear sea that she is swimming in. That's all the low frequencies that are around her. But see, my small self, busy thinking, she is blah, 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 one thing after another. But when I stop and I say, my divine self knows, show me that same person in a way that I can understand, in a way that I know who they are. I see them swimming, fear, anger, unworthiness. And then I find myself going, oh, I know what that feels like to be swimming in unworthiness. No wonder she seems abhorrent to me. Now, this might be just a little taste for you, and you do this at another time. Sit down and take somebody who you have thoughts about that really aggravate the bejesus out of you. And then you sit with it and keep asking your divine self to give you more knowing, to give you more of who they are. And as you ask, you will start to see. And your higher self is going to give it to you the way that you will understand it. I have to remember to bless that person. Bless, 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 bless. And we are blessing each and every one of those for you. Blessing, blessing, blessing. And just in case you want to, you can just bless and bless and bless them as well. And trust that they are in transformation just like you are. Because they are. Anybody have any conversation they want to have about that? Bless the braid, bless the braid, bless the braid, bless the braid, bless the braid. Between you and your higher self. So I have a cute story to tell you. I just think this is a fun story. I have a very dear friend who's had a stray cat come into her, on her patio regularly. And she said to me, this cat is such a crazy cat. Every time she goes outside of the patio, there's a whole bunch of birds that are busy squawking at her and chirping and kind of dive bombing her. I don't know what that is, but oh my God, she's such a crazy cat. I said, "Oh, I can tell you what that is." Because we had a cat that was an outdoor cat, outdoor and indoor, and he came in and out the dog door that we had. And he would occasionally bring presents in for us, always alive. And so he brought in a baby bird one time. And then from that time that he brought the baby bird in, even though we picked up the baby bird and carried it back outside and gave it back, he was harassed by the birds in my backyard. They would start squawking. I knew exactly when Jasper the cat was in the backyard because they would be squawking at him nonstop. And she's like, "Oh, that's really cool. Okay, good to know, good to know." And she just texted me the other day and said, the cat came onto the patio to escape the birds. And she asked the cat, "What do you need? How can I help you? What do you need to heal?" And she said, the information dropped in solid. The knowingness came in. Forgiveness. She goes, "Ah, I can do that." And she just started covering the cat with more Christ consciousness. Forgiveness frequency. Christ consciousness, it's electric blue. And the cat just sat there and purred. And then a couple minutes later, the cat went outside and the birds disappeared. There wasn't a single bird around. That's what forgiveness frequency will do for you, will do for a cat, will do for everybody on the planet. So you may want to consider adding some more forgiveness frequency to your person that you just really don't like, and then give yourself some downloads of Christ consciousness coming in. Because that's how that works. As you forgive yourself, you forgive others. You didn't do it wrong. There was no should have to that process. It's okay if you want to be safe. It's okay if you think. It's okay if you don't always know. That's okay. If you would like, feel free to put your hand out. Left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. You're receiving a book. Your book, everybody's book, is a book of truth. It's a gold frequency. Truth is a gold frequency. But you may see your book as a different color, which simply means that it has additional things added to it. And in truth, a book of truth is not just truth. It has a lot of other frequencies. So if you look at your book and you get, but I am sure my book is pink. I'm sure my book is purple. I actually see the pages of the book, you know, how you look at a book from the side, as purple in my book. And this book of truth, you get to choose where you would most like to have it. Now, all energetic gifts, happy to give you a healing in the place if you're like, sure, a book. All energetic gifts are yours forever and ever. It's not just for this lifetime. You have them forever and ever and ever. Wherever you'd like to put it, feel free to put it there. And if you'd like to share, you're welcome to do that as well. Jenna, thank you very much for being willing to share that. It is a great example of how people can show up for us. Look at that. People show up for us as we need them to show up. It's an opportunity for us to take lots of healings, to give lots of healings, to use the relationship as an opportunity to experience more growth and evolution. Not that we want it, just that that's what we get. And many people can be defensive. That fear, unworthiness, shame, blame, anger, those frequencies show up a lot exactly like you're talking about. And their higher selves are like, we just want some healings. We just want some more light. Happy to help you with that, Jill. Bobby, yours is definitely gold, and it is definitely going in your sternum. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Those iridescent shimmery white pages are illumination frequency. Jenna. Did I say Jill? Jenna. There are so many things that we are in the process of transforming. And it is so easy for us to go back to the way we've always known things, either in how we see people. Oh, they've always been like that. They're never going to be any different. I'm actually experiencing that with my husband's ex-stepfather. That's an ex-stepfather. He's always been like that, Bonnie. Yeah, but he doesn't have to continue to be like that. You can bless him more and love him more just from where you stand. You don't have to engage with him, but just from where you stand, you just love him more and bless him more. And watch the transformation that happens in him. Watch the transformation that happens in you. You cannot be somebody who loves and blesses people and be a really grumpy person. Those are my words. Kathy, that's an awesome book. Look at you getting all that information. Kathy, that black design, the engraving on your book, is your higher self going, yo, before we put this in, can you move this dark design? Happy to move that. See, our higher selves, our divine selves are always on it. Awesome. Kathy, thank you for bringing that to the circle, because everybody has a dark design that they want to transform, that has been keeping them stuck in the thinking mode. Thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing that. Happy to help with it. And Jenna, as we give your in-laws a healing, we get to move more defensiveness in ourselves. Holy cow, the number of times that I have wanted to defend my position. I actually talked about it at the last healing circle. I had such an awesome healing on where I wanted to defend my position. So if you'd like to know, you can ask, where am I holding the most defensiveness? Where am I in fear? And I'm acting out of that fear. Where does your higher self most want a healing? Temples, temporal lobes. That's good, Kathy. Yeah. Jenna, I see it all the way across. All the way across here. Yep, just like a mask, Jenna. I was seeing that. It actually looks like who is that? A mask, a bigger mask than like the mask that we were wearing with COVID. But yeah, awesome. Christina, your right hip. Yeah, for me, it's the front part of your right hip, and then back a couple of inches. Yeah, that's an awesome. Sheena, where is yours? Sheena, yours is all the way across your frontal lobe. And actually, Sheena, thank you very much for bringing that to the circle, because it shows up there, and there is also a big sign like going across. It's a machine that is like if you were running in Times Square, they have the words that go across round and round. That's what it looks like. And so we're going to move a machine for everybody that is busy telling you that you're not worthy. You're not worthy. You're not worthy. Yes. I love when people bring stuff to the healing circle. And that's just another reason why it's so awesome if you trust your divine self, trust your higher self, trust when information comes in for you, and say it, because you are getting information that is beneficial to everybody. It's not just you, it's beneficial to everybody, and you can trust your higher self. Trust, trust, trust. So cool. And if you go back to the beginning of the healing circle when I was talking to you all about thinking versus knowing, and how you all have had lots of times when you have been in your knowing. And for those of you who have said, yeah, I haven't been in my knowing. Everybody else is in their knowing but me. You have spent an hour being in your knowing, each and every one of you. When I ask you to look for something or to point to a place where you have something going on, or where you would like a gift, each and every one of you, including those of you who haven't said anything, like you don't have to put it in the chat for the information to be in the container. You all have so much more access to your knowingness than you realize. You spend all day being in your knowing, and you don't necessarily realize it. So this is just another reminder that you know more than you think. You know more than you think. Trust, trust, trust. And you can remind yourself the divine self knows. Oh, let me connect to my divine self. Divine self knows. I know you have a divine self. Each and every one of you has a divine self. It's not like I have one, but you don't. So you absolutely can know. You absolutely can connect to your information. And you can absolutely trust your divine self, your higher self, has nothing but your best interests. Because it's you. You are your higher self. I love that, Kathy. I'm in alignment with my higher self. And bless the braid, bless the braid, bless the braid. I don't always remember to, but when I do remember to bless things in the morning or at night, bless the braid. Bless your braid. Thank you so much. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, each and every one of you, for how you show up in the world, for being the light that you already are. You are amazing lanterns out there shining brightly, whether you remember it or not. Always, 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 you are out there shining brightly. And as you do that, you are transforming the field. Exactly what we did tonight. Transformed more of the low frequencies out there. So thank you, thank you, thank you for how you show up. As I seal the field unto the light of that one true source creator God, I thank my healing team. I thank all of the support teams. I thank my higher self. And I thank each and every one of you who are doing the very best of you. You are doing the very best of you, your higher self, your divine self. You're doing it. I send huge, huge love and blessings to each and every one of you. And if you need help with anything, if there's anything I can do to support you, please send me a text. Please contact me on social media. send me a smoke signal. And remember, you can always ask for help from the field. Huge blessings. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for another amazing healing circle. And it will definitely be posted on social so you can practice it ahead of time. I love you guys. You are beyond, beyond, beyond awesome. Have a